What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode here on the Pull Focus podcast. I'm Quentin, and today's guest is an amazing photographer out of Logan County, West Virginia. He's actually half of the duo that makes New Creations Photography. So, without further ado, this is Colt Townsend.
Hey guys,
How you
happy
doing?
to be here, man. Really
Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah, so we recently met back in December and stuff, and we did a stranger session. Guys, if you watched episode 1, we talked about it with Autumn. This is the guy that I met. So great photographer. Him and his wife is a duo that creates amazing work and stuff. So let's kind of just tell me a little bit about yourself, like your history, what got you into photography, and
So I guess it's a bloodline thing, man. My grandfather was a sports photographer.
Okay.
Back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. It was kind of his second income, but he loved doing it. Shoot family, would shoot cabins, would shoot wildlife. He was just all over the place with the film camera.
Mm-hmm.
Then my sister took it up when she was around 17, 18, decided that was something that she wanted to do. She ran a business for close to 10 years and then had a kid and decided that, she wanted to stay at home, spend more time, not go out and do the sessions constantly. So she goes to sell her camera, and this is the same camera that I've been toying around with backup shooting for since I was 18, 19, and I would go out on sessions and help her. And, at the time I didn't really have a clue what was going on. And I'd bought a couple of Canon Rebels and sold those, bought it again, sold it. I knew I wanted to do it. I just couldn't, I could never knock the door down. And then she goes to sell her D750 and a 70-200 millimeter lens. And I said, hold on. Let's talk about making payments on that.
Yeah.
So we worked that out, and it got me a nice setup, and I fell in love with it. And like I said, I feel like it runs in the blood because I'll still go to her for advice. She was from day one my mentor, and it'll be 2 or 3 in the morning. Sometimes I'll be working on galleries, and I have to shoot her. You up right now?
Yeah.
You look at this green.
Yeah.
See what that looks like.
Yeah.
And she's always got my back. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know. So you said your grandfather was a sports photographer?
Yeah, he would do the sports teams around everywhere. In the Logan area.
Yeah.
He would do all the posed group pictures and
so how long did he do those for?
Oh man, I would say probably close to 20 years.
Wow.
He was doing that.
Wow.
That was on top of being a federal mine inspector and supporting the family. He just loved it that much.
And he did it with a film camera, right?
Film camera. We still got plenty of his photo albums. It's funny, man. I'll break them out and just to look and see what he was doing with that technology back then on those film cameras. And I'll find pictures of my mom just standing in front of a house. I'm like, man, that's beautiful.
Oh,
he had an eye.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've worked for a couple schools in the state. I worked at Aldous and Broadus University for a couple years, and then I worked at Glenville State. And what was really cool, I would always go to their archives because you just always need to put post these throwback photos and stuff. And these people always had an amazing eye for photography because not only that they're documenting certain event, but they're doing it with crystal clear precision. And with doing it with that technology back then, I just geek out when I just see that. I could spend days in some of these archives.
I completely agree. And then to think about how you're shooting on a roll of film, you don't really have much time to waste or much. You don't have film to waste. Like us with digital, we're
spoiled. We're spoiled
everywhere. And these guys they'd have to line things up. They'd have to make sure their framing was correct, and then boom. I hope that turns out. Not looking at it, not looking at the back of the camera right there. I hope that one turns out. Look good. Yeah. And then it does. It usually always did. If you were shooting on film back then, and you got the groove going, they knew what they were doing. I'm really. One side of me wants to take that up as a hobby, and the other side says, no, that sounds
I'm 50-50 on it, too. There's a part that, the mystery of it, I want to make sure that I kind of just know the process of it, but the other side of it is, great, I'm going
to leave it to those guys.
Yeah.
They were the pioneers.
Yeah. I think a lot of that's just, you always saw it in movies and stuff, too. The paparazzi would always come out with the light bulb flash and stuff, too, and you're thinking at the time, obviously as in movies and stuff too, but at the same time, you're just how accurate was that photo?
Right.
You're just come on now. But it's some of those people, I mean, they did document it, and they did a really good job. And some of the most famous, like, photos and histories has always been like on film cameras.
Yeah, I recently watched I sent you guys over a movie on our Discord. It's called Life. It was about Robert Pattinson stars as a live photographer, and then follows James Dean around trying to, really capture James Dean.
Yeah.
Because like you can get these Hollywood A-listers out, and you can get them driving a Ferrari. You can take shots of them walking down the beach in Malibu, but that's not who they are.
Yeah.
And to see that those guys, they packed a film camera around everywhere just trying to catch like just sentimental, deep shots of people. It blows my mind that they were that dialed in with it.
Yeah, that's the part that I wish. I don't know. It's like we're all shooting different types of genres, and based on like our area and stuff too, is like we're not going to have that opportunity. That's definitely like a California or New York or like Miami type of mentality. But at the same time, it's just like I would absolutely love to document something like that. And I've said it. We've talked about it, and just recent was just like Appalachia, and just like document more of it, and put our generation, like we're the next in line to like document that type of journey and stuff.
Right, because if we don't do it, no one will.
Yeah.
It's not a bash against. We're a little ignored, here when it comes to the film industry, when it comes to really anything pop culture wise, but we have so much talent and so much rich culture hiding out in the mountains that if somebody here in these mountains doesn't capture it, nobody's going to.
Yeah. And that's a huge reason why I wanted to like start this podcast. Is like I'm trying to give a lot of these photographers, videographers, creatives, just anybody in West Virginia a platform to talk art, to speak about it, what's going on, vent sessions, because
that's a big one.
Yeah.
In our field, you every once in a while you've got to just let it out.
Yeah. There's so many things that like positive and negative, but like after a shoot, like if it's super positive, like I want to tell another photographer, like that understands it. Like my wife,
have coworkers.
Yeah, my wife, I'll come home and she'll be like, oh yeah, that's nice and stuff, but like she doesn't understand like the ISO, the shutter speed, the aperture, the things that makes the whole process click, and she's still supportive, but at the same time you're just like, I need another photographer that just gets it, So that's why I'm trying to build more of that community. I'm trying to explain to people you don't have to gatekeep. If you are a good photographer, I wouldn't even say if you're a good photographer, if you are a photographer that is trying to do this seriously and continue to learn and grow and stuff, then there should be no gatekeeping at all. Like
no, 100%. You want others to excel in your field because they may come along and show you something.
Yeah, 100%.
Because in my opinion, as I consider myself an artist, a lot of that stuff comes straight from inside. I mean, it's not stuff that you can just absolutely practice. Some of that stuff just is right off the dome.
Yeah.
And you might mentor somebody for 2 or 3 years, and then once they get the camera skill down, and they learn all of the technicality behind all of it, then all of a sudden, boom, they've like got this creative set that they want to build. Like, I watched a Wes Anderson movie the other night. I want to do just a green wall with a white door, and I want to put a model in front of it. And then you're like, wow, did you come up with that? And then, boom, they did.
I think that's the part. That's the part that, to me, I've said it on other episodes and stuff as well, is that for me is the process. Like, I love everything, and then the final product, when people's like, oh yeah, that's still a great photo, but then you explain to them, this is how I got that photo.
Yep.
It's just like, that is way more valuable to me and stuff. So you are a duo. Mm-hmm. So what about your wife? What's her role in?
So Kayla, I'll talk a little bit about Kayla here. She is, I like to call Kayla my final eye.
Yeah.
Because I do get, with the art side of it, I do get a little vibrant sometimes, and sometimes I'll go a little overboard with the grain. I'll go a little bit, I want to do things differently. And being in a business where we work with lots and lots of clients, they come to us for our consistent style, And sometimes I will try to break that. And Kayla, I say, hey, come here. Is this too much? And she's like, okay, yeah, dial that back just a little bit. We argue over green probably every day. We're in an area where it's nothing but green. She'll go, no, too lime. I'm like, well, let's desaturate a little bit, maybe turn the luminance up so we can still. And she's really great on a computer.
Yeah,
Kayla's. I tell everybody after I have a really bang up session, if it just goes swell off the back of the camera, I'm like, man, I could deliver these now. I tell them, I'm like, I promise my wife's going to steal these. If she's there with me, she's like, those are my edits.
Yeah.
And it's great because we both do, to a certain extent, have the same eye when it comes to coloring and how we like to frame our shots, how we like to crop, how we like to level. There's not much, I guess, we don't give each other too much backlash when we make a decision. It's a pretty good team effort, and I feel like that's rare to find.
Yeah.
Because it's
and you both shoot.
Yeah. She shoots well. I remember taking her out on her first session, and I had a session in the same location at the same time. So she drops me off with my clients. We rode together. She goes down about a mile down the road, and this was right after I bought her a mirrorless camera. She was still shooting on the D750 for a while, and I bought her mirrorless. About 3 minutes after I get working with my clients, I hear the car screech back up. She's like, what did I do? I messed something up. I was like, it's okay. There's a million buttons on this. And I tweaked 1 or 2 buttons. And she gets a little scared shooting.
Yeah.
But now when she's with me, I mean, she comes out with sometimes better shots than I do.
And by the way, too, I did 100% invite her, but she says she's
not good in front of me.
Yeah. She said, you know what, Cole, you take this one and stuff. But
I'm the talker. She has to tell me with clients all the time, hey.
Yeah, that's what, like, I feel like sometimes I just ramble. Like, I'll have client meetings and stuff sometimes, but I think for a lot of clients like that, they appreciate that. They want someone that is just, the energy is there and they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And they can just be like, oh, this person, like, he's like, if you got the golden retriever energy, that's all we want.
Right. And especially, we both shoot weddings, and the bride doesn't want to try to get her bridesmaids hopped up. If you can do that for her, that makes it so much easier on her. Same thing with the groom. The groom knows that the bride wants some good pictures, wants the guys to act lively. If you can do that as the photographer, do it. Don't put that pressure on them. And I feel like another thing with being a duo with Kayla that takes a lot of the pressure off of working, with the guys and the girls separately. Like, she can go do that. I can go do that with the guys.
Yeah, there's so much of that. I think that I've talked about that in the last episode and stuff too. Is like being a guy in the industry, especially when you're shooting weddings. Like, it can be difficult. Like, we can still create great content, but there's so many parts of the day that a guy, may not be comfortable in, and vice versa and stuff. And, that's the reason why, like, my second shooter that I shoot with, she handles the majority of the bridesmaids and stuff and things like that, while I'm with the guys getting ready and stuff. It kind of eliminates that pressure that, a guy's in there while everyone's getting ready. Yeah. And it just makes it a little bit easier. Plus, it gets her kind of comfortable, too, and warm up, because those shots are never too they're all sitting around and stuff. They're very good warm-up sessions and stuff. Right. And then by the time the ceremony happens, you guys are, you're good to go.
Kind of tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Normal sessions, too, even. Going on normal sessions, it's really, really refreshing to, to be kind of where I want to be and have my clients where they're at. And if something goes a little bit wrong with their posing, if, like I've got a couple poses where you got to kind of wrap an arm up around a certain way. And when I say it out loud, it sounds so strange. But having Kayla there to walk over and say, okay, put your hand here. Yeah. To where I don't have to move them from the spot I want them in. I don't have to walk over to them and miss my framing. I'm where I want to be at. Yeah. And it's really nice just to have her as kind of, like I said, a second eye. She's my final eye. Maybe we should switch them sides. Yeah. And then we do, and then I'm like, that was it.
Yeah. There's a guy on TikTok. His TikTok's Porter Family of 5, but he's like, he does massive, like, productions with weddings and stuff like that, and he had a really good tip other day, and he did it, and he didn't even know, like, he was like teaching people, but he was trying to tell one of the bridesmaids and stuff to change the necklace, but he didn't want to touch the necklace, so he was like, let me see your finger, and he said, I want you to do this. So he took her finger and, like,
right.
showed her exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And that was just like, I was like, that's smart, because it kind of,
it's an awkward moment when you need to fix someone's body, and you have to say, can I touch your elbow?
Yeah.
Like, do you care if I do that? Because you don't want to overstep your boundaries, you know. And
it's so, I don't know. Like, I want to create, I want to shoot the moment, and it's hard to explain, you know, different poses and different like situations to people that's, you know, in my mind, I'm always thinking, oh, they've always done this before. But I mean, I've shot a lot of clients that it's their first shoot ever.
Yeah.
Like, ever getting in front of people. And I'm just like, so it's always interesting to think of that. I just did a senior session in Marshall this last week, and the guy, he was really great, but he told me straight up, he was like, yeah, I've never done this before, so like I have no idea what to do with the hands. I was like, no, you're good, just smile, and I'll try to like pose you the best way I can and stuff.
Right.
And
guys are fun as long as you.
Yeah.
I like shooting my male seniors because they're usually like they get there and they kind of act like they're not into it.
Yeah,
and about 15, 20 minutes into it, they're into it, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's, I love shooting college seniors, like graduation ones and stuff. I don't typically dabble too much into like high school seniors because usually it's about props and they want to do, I'm just not like that.
Right.
And stuff. I just don't want to do that. I want to work with more adults when I can, and that's nothing against the like high school senior. There's some photographers that's literally all they do, and they do it really well. But
a lot of times too, you're not only dealing with your seniors as clients, you're dealing with
their mother.
You're dealing with their mother, their father, guardians, and going back to getting my start.
Yeah.
That's something I've got to give some major credit for the people in my area. You know, like I didn't know where to begin with clients. I had no idea. I didn't know what I wanted to shoot. I didn't know if I wanted to do weddings, if I wanted to do people, if I wanted to do nature band. I just went down to an open mic night one night, and I found this kid, long blonde hair. He looked cool. He was wearing a blazer, you know, had his guitar. And I walked up to the mom. I said, "Do you care if I take pictures of your son?" As creepy as that sounds. That's about. I'm a photographer. I'm local. I'm just getting started. I got a stack of business cards here. I'm just trying to get people to know me, completely free. And they're like, "Yeah, of course." His name is Bryn. And Bryn's one of my favorite people ever.
Yeah.
And went out on the street, man, and I took a couple shots of him, and I go back inside, and they're like, "He's gonna need senior pictures." And then lo and behold, Bryn had a girlfriend. Bryn's girlfriend had a sister. You know, and like it just spread from there. And those two families, man, like the Hackneys and the Fights and Williamson. I actually messaged them last night. I said, "I'm on a podcast tomorrow. I'm going to talk about you guys because without them, I wouldn't have."
That's awesome.
I guess grabbed the I wouldn't have had that. I've got this kind of mentality. They were in my corner 100%. Between them, my wife, and my family, like they were in my corner. So forever grateful to them.
Yeah, yeah. It's super cool how that stuff like snowballs because like I mean I've shot weddings and I'll go home and I'll book like 3 other ones based on the people that's been in the weddings, you know, and you're just like that's the thing, you know, you don't need a gatekeep. We don't look at each other as competition and stuff. Like there's work out there for everybody. 100%. Like it will find you and stuff. And if you do a good job and stuff, people like they talk about like any other service and stuff. So like there's just like anything else though. I mean, there's good photographers, there's bad, there's ones that right in the medium that just kind of like they take it as is. But you know, like I'm full time now, so like I'm trying to look at it as like, okay, every single day, what am I creating? What am I editing? What am I getting better? You know, like is it every day becoming like a return on investment for the business and stuff?
Right.
So like I was trying to have that conversation with like my mom a couple weeks ago, and she was like, hey, like, are you staying busy? And I was like, well, I've had like 3 shoots, but like I wouldn't call that busy in my mind. Like
right.
In my mind, it's like, yeah, I gotta shoot every day.
Yeah.
Like that's busy and stuff. But once April kind of hits in this good weather, like I'm very confident because you know going as part-time, there were so many times that you had to like say no and say no, I can't, I got a previous thing, you know. And, but now it's just like nope, if I got the day open,
we'll do it.
You're there and stuff. So that's why I'm super excited for just be able to like keep on rolling through that. Making like I don't want to put my edits to be like longer than I have in the past. I want to be able to like crank them out, make sure it's good quality work, and then the people have their edits within a week. You know,
Yeah, dude, that's something that my clients have been blown away on my delivery time, and it's because I just get so excited. It's not like I go shoot a session, then I load it to my computer, and I'm like, well, I'll get to that in a couple days. I'm ready to give them what because I'm excited for them.
Yeah,
I get so excited about doing a session and getting home and just starting my base out, seeing where I'm at and showing it to them. And then once I do that, I just get carried away. I'm like, whoa, I just did 40 pictures.
Yeah.
Like their package called for 20.
Yeah. I mean, that has happened a lot. I think it depends on what I'm shooting too. I get excited sometimes if the lighting's good, but sometimes I like directing more than the editing part and stuff. I like to, it's like the process really begins and putting people in, be like, okay, like I need you to stand here, and this is the reason why I need you to wear this, and this is the reason why. Like I love to do portraits, but they don't make them, they don't pay the bills, So, and I've done some really awesome like portraits in the past that like a lot of people in West Virginia be like, what the heck is that, And but to me, I'm just like, yes, like that is what I want out of it and stuff. But, yeah, so before I forget and stuff, I do want to also say that this podcast is sponsored by Megan Nicole Photography. This is where this podcast is being shot at. All of her information is going to be located in the description below, so make sure you check her out. And she's located in the Charleston area, so if you want to do any type of studio work, Mommy and Me's is really popular right now in April. She's doing all of those, so give her a shout, see if she's available, and without further ado, we'll get right back into it. I don't know, man. If I'm ever going to get to a point where I'm going to have like crazy sponsors on here, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Be like, it's always like I listen to like Theo Vaughn's podcast almost all the time, and I've gotten a lot of like, I've studied him a lot because I feel like he's a great podcaster.
No doubt. It's so free form.
Yeah, and I've like kind of dissected it on how like I want to continue to get better at that too. And dude, he'll have a full conversation before you realize what's going on, and it's like 20 minutes down the road, and you're watching it, and you're like, dang, like that was good.
That's the best. It's an organic conversation.
Yeah. And he's had some really interesting people and stuff on there too.
Oh, he has. We my wife and I listen to Brittany Broski a lot.
Oh yeah,
Brittany and Theo together. So
yeah, that was there was a comment that he said on there that she said that people said that she looks like the yellow M&M. Bro, I was like, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Somebody, I posted a TikTok the other day, and they said that I look like Ice Spice if she let herself go. So there's, dude, I'm definitely having those moments right now and stuff.
Gotcha.
But so yeah, you recently, it was within this last year, it was like last fall and stuff, you shot that wedding down in North Carolina, right?
Oh, Biltmore, yeah.
Yeah. So, dude, that was a whole different vibe. I feel like when you showed me those, I was like,
yeah, that was what kind of I was able to let my imagination run a little bit wild with everything that we had there. Southern West Virginia used to shooting some outdoor weddings, some church weddings, some old-timey church weddings, but to go from all that out to a massive estate, it's just kind of like everything's right there in the palm of your hand. You can do whatever you want with it, and I felt like that was kind of where things kicked off.
Dude, it looked like something off like Bridgerton or something.
I
like,
loved it. Thank you.
It was insane. And then you just did an elopement session and you posted it. I loved that too. So like I feel like this is like your guys' year is going to be like, you got something cooking, man.
Yeah,
you got something cooking.
It's rolling for sure. We're excited about it. And Kaylee graduates nursing school next month, so like, that'll take her down to hopefully 312s, and she'll have all this extra time to be back on board with the business and not so much studying.
Yeah.
And she's really excited about that. And I love having her involved, man. I don't know if that's the same with every relationship where they run a business together.
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you straight. So my wife and stuff, like, she's come to a couple of shoots and stuff as well. But like, I'm so, I don't know, like free thinking in a sense that when I like create something, her style is not like my style at all
Right.
and stuff. And she's helped me like with like reflectors and like some other things.
Yeah.
And she'll be standing there. She's like, babe, what if you just do that? I was like, and I look back at her, but like, like let me cook type deal, like
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
do it and stuff. But we get back home and I said we can never do this as a tag team, like we just couldn't do it. But we understand that situation and stuff on it. But she's like, when you talk about having an extra eye, she's another one. Like my wife, I'll have these and I show her everything and she'll tell me that she's a hard critic. Like she'll tell me exactly, and which I really appreciate because it's like at the same time, you don't want to put work out there that's just not
right. And I would rather it come from somebody that I know is really telling me that
Yeah.
because they care about my stuff.
Yeah.
Versus just some random person on the internet that's like, yo, man,
Yeah.
that looks bad. I'm like, because then I'm not going to believe it as much either.
Yeah.
Like,
I
don't know this guy.
Yeah. I recently put, it was like last year, I put her as a extra admin on my Facebook page.
Right.
And so she would like see how I was talking to these clients, and she'd come home. She's like, "Oh, you was really like wheeling and dealing in there and stuff." And I was just like, "Yeah, and stuff." Like I'm just trying to like She's like, "Yeah, book it, babe, book it." And I was like,
I'll tell you one thing about Kayla. If it's anything to do with booking, scheduling, retainer information, contract information, she's gone out the door.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Kayla's medical field background.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. If you could give any advice to a baby photographer, somebody that
is doing newborn?
No. I guess fresh photographer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brand new. They've got an eye for it. They've bought some equipment. They're ready to get into it. What would be the first thing that you would tell them when it comes to client relations? Because I feel that's a struggle for a lot of artists. Is there's this massive barrier between being a businessman, businesswoman, and being an artist.
Yeah. I think communication, just whether you know what is right or not, communication, honesty.
Yep.
I've gotten out of, I don't want to say situations because it sounds like we're bad, but like we all know like text, email, and everything can be, misconceived as different types of, misinterpreted all the time.
You cannot read body language through a text. You can't.
And you can call them, and it can be a completely different conversation.
Right.
So, like, you just have to be honest with them. I've had situations where I was shooting a wedding, and one of the SD cards at the time was not working. I knew how to recover this stuff, but I didn't want to be like, get home, and then if it didn't work, I just dug myself a bigger hole. So I told him straight up, I said, second shooter's going to Walmart right now. She's going to pick up 3 extra SD cards. We're going to be covered. I'm going to let you know right now, this one right here is possibly corrupted, but I'm 90% sure that I can get everything on it.
Right.
It wasn't reading it. Well, you get home, nothing was wrong with it. Just the card itself wasn't just being read on the camera. It wasn't even an issue. They didn't lose a single photo or anything like that.
But you laid that foundation.
And I told him that. I said, I want to be completely honest with you because this is half the day, but I'm going to let you know this is the reason why I have a second shooter. She has a lot of stuff as well, but she's going and we're going to fix this. We got time to kill right now. She'll be back in like 30 minutes. Right. And they said, okay, thank you so much. And that. So I think being honest, communicating to your people, because at the end of the day, like, I know I don't know as much as, like the Peter McKinnons of the world or anything like that, but it's like I do know what I'm in control of, and that is like you can be honest with people and stuff. So I think that would be a main one, and then just having confidence in your work, because I've seen a lot of like fresh photographers as well that they'll shoot something and then they'll say it right in front of the client. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible or something like that. That doesn't make the client feel any type of way. It's a
hype session the whole time.
Yes.
You're laying the foundation that you're capturing them in their most.
There's different ways to approach it too. Like you can say, let's try something different, or if they come out with an idea and stuff that you don't like, you'd be like, that's great. Let me take a couple of those, and then let's try it this way as well. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you don't have to use their ideas, so you just gotta like approach things with sensitivity and just be honest with things, and I think that helps a lot and stuff.
Yeah, I was in sales for forever, man. let's see, 7 years. I mean, since I was 18,
Mm-hmm.
doing sales, car sales, furniture sales, cell phones, business to business, and just learning to talk to people. It's a really big, being able to shoot and still keep your mouth running.
Mm-hmm.
Making people feel comfortable, not lots of awkward silence going on, and just having that, I guess that jabber jaw mentality. And a lot of people might think I'm an extrovert, but when I get back in the car, and I'm sure thousands of other photographers can relate to this, you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you just have to a deep breath because your social
Yeah.
battery just got.
I have been drained sometimes. Like I'll get 5 miles out from the venue after I've shot the whole day, and I sometimes have to pull over and just kind of like
Just
sit there.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to feel like you drive because you feel like you're going to get into like a accident or
Your
something
zone,
like that.
yeah.
And you're just like I just gotta take a minute just to decompress. Yeah.
It's a random question. What's food look like for you on a wedding day? How do you? Because I know a lot of contracts have meals built in. My
Yeah.
contract after 4 hours, I have meals built in. But I've been noticing a lot, man. I've been fasting on wedding days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It just depends. Usually, if it's hot, I don't eat as much. I just
because
drink.
I feel like I get slowed down.
Yeah, I just don't want to feel like I have to. I just don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's hot and you're, I'm just I'll just keep the water pumping.
That's it.
You
Yeah,
know,
man.
and
Yeah.
I'll just stay at least hydrated. But if it's in the fall or something like that, I'll eat a little bit more. And then by the time the fall hits, I'm into a good groove of how weddings are getting shot. This year I'll be shooting my 75th wedding, and it's I've had a good average of 20 some a year. So
Yeah.
it's just I'm hitting them by the end of it. I'm hitting a really good groove. I already know what's and stuff.
Right.
But I have one in a couple weeks, and I know I have to shake the rust off and just kind of get in that mentality
Right.
and stuff. But yeah, food. Mine's built in regardless. Everything's just one single rate. It includes travel, everything. I try to make it as simple as possible. And that's for my second shooter too. So they get, and most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, the client always says, "Oh yeah, we'll get you a plate."
Oh, they try. I've had people try to
I was like,
force
"Yeah,
feed me, and I'm
best believe."
I'm like, I keep telling them as much as I would love to eat right now.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that
it's
right now,
when
if I
they're
eat, I'll get
eating,
sick.
you want to get the candid shots of everything else and stuff. And
Right.
if you have a good coordinator that's keeping things moving, you don't have time to eat.
I'm more of a snack size Slim Jim, just something to make sure
Yeah.
it's the full plate at a reception.
Yeah.
If I try that,
Dude,
you'll catch me napping. You'll catch me napping.
I was in a bad habit of last year. I was drinking Red Bulls before because I was just trying to get up early. I'll be shooting the detail shots, shaking like crazy,
Yeah.
and then I'll have to tell myself, I was like, "Gosh, man, I need to drink some water, just kind of chill." And then by the time my second shooter gets here, I was like, well, I got to do the detail shots completely over again because I'm sitting there and you look at it and my hands is going. I was like, I need to quit that. So I switched to sugar-free Red Bull, and that's been a little bit more helpful and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I just try to drink a lot of water. I've been on I've shot some July and August weddings. I shot an August wedding last year that was beautiful. I loved it, but it was miserable.
Yeah.
It was just so hot. I mean, I got sunburned and I had SPF on, and I was just sunburned. Then we had these bugs that was crazy, but I do want to say my wife got me these really cool bands that I forget what the names of them are, but I wear them with a lot of shoots in the summer, and dude, they're amazing.
Bug repellent.
Yeah. You just put the band on, and I also give it to my if I'm shooting portraits or whatever, I would give it to the client and I have them put it in their back pocket or something.
Yeah.
And dude, it's amazing.
That's cool.
I've shot with a couple models, and they're that thing is because they would be getting ate up, and then I said, "Here, put this on,
Yeah.
put it in your back pocket or tuck it or somewhere, as long as it's on you." And they'd be like, "Yeah, I haven't been bitten
That's handy.
5 to 10 minutes." So that has been a huge thing that's been helpful. Do you have anything? Because this kind of goes into the next conversation. Is do you have anything I don't want to say toys. That sounds weird. things that you like your everyday carry that you
Something like stuff that's in my bag. And I know it's in my bag.
you just got to because you just like love like gear and stuff.
Something that I feel a lot of photographers don't think about, and really in our area, it's a big deal because we're in the woods a lot. You know, we're out on mountains, we're out on strip jobs, we're taking these family pictures. You know, kids are walking around on rocks and stuff like that. I keep a first aid kit in my bag.
That's a good idea.
All the time, man. It's not a big one, but just
you
enough
can
to
get
to chill. If a kid falls and gets cut or something, just enough to like wipe it off some alcohol, throw a bandage on him, and you see, you're good, bro. You're good. And then it might save the shoot. Things like that, and bee sting stuff that eases bee stings. I keep that stuff in my bag, and then really other than that, man, it's all just the lenses, and I don't take a whole lot with me because we're just about 100% natural light photographers now. We don't really mess with even video lights anymore, because we used to mess around with video lights outside, and we don't do anything like that anymore, and it keeps the bag a little bit lighter. I'll tell you that.
That's what I had Kevin Young in here last episode. He's huge into the strobe, and he's one of the best in the state. And I was
going to say extremely one of the most consistent outdoor strobe. He takes these models out in these creeks and stuff, and like the lighting is, I mean, it's perfect coming from everywhere. It blows my mind.
Well, and he was talking about that. I was like, dude, that's one thing I don't want to do because I don't want to lug the gear. But he's like, for him, that's like the process.
It's the normal.
And that's what he loves about it. And I was like,
and for somebody like us, we're out like, where's the shade?
And
that's our he doesn't want to do that. People like that, they don't want to mess with some crazy highlights coming through or some crazy shade coming through. And I'm fine with it. I'm more of I think that the only thing that beats talent, I think that the only thing talent comes second place to is perfect timing. And I think being a natural light photographer, perfect timing is like really it's a big deal. You got to be there when you're supposed to be there. And you gotta watch. You gotta make sure that the lighting is like okay, this is perfect right now.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is like right now I'm telling my clients they're for like in the wintertime, you have to meet these clients at 3:00 because golden hours at 4 because it's dark at 6.
Well, another thing with being full time, you're able to do now. Back when I was working a 9 to 5, it was like
it'd be dark by the time I get home.
It's dark,
so I can't shoot.
I'm not shooting anything but Saturdays and Sundays. So that's I'm full time. I'm much more flexible now. I can catch these people on a Thursday at 3:00, and we can still get some sunset. And, it's nice.
But I was going to say about the time is like by the time July hits, now you got them going out there at like 7:00 is golden hour, and it's just like so you have to continuously like tell yourself, okay, this is the time, this is a little later, this is a little and stuff. And there's a field that I shoot usually in September. In October, and it changes every single time I go back there week by week, and it's just the way the world is, and seasons and stuff. So
I mean, going back to client relations and just knowing how to have conversations and knowing how to talk to people when there are times that you can't do anything else. Like sometimes you'll get to a spot and the sun is, I mean, it's still like hitting them like right here, and you're gonna get. You're probably still going to get good pictures, but you're not going to get what you're really out there for. And if they don't have anything to do, I'll say, are you guys in a rush? If they're not in a rush, I'll be like, hey, let's just hang out, wait for that sun to go down a bit. You guys cool with that? And I'll learn their life story. I'll make a client a friend. And I feel like it's a big thing. It's a lot better than I'm going to go sit in my car, you guys go chill out. Now, I've had people like that. I've had introverts that have said, hey, we'll just go hang out in the car for a little bit. And I'm fine with it. But I'm telling you, being a jabberjaw has made this job a little more fun for me, I think, than it would be if I couldn't have conversation.
Well, for me, I feel like I like people, but in moderation. Yeah. And I feel like this is the reason why I like it, because I know at each point I'm going to be meeting new people, but it's all going to be like, I'm not going to be meeting like large groups and stuff. Like there's some photographers that does like concert photography and like these bigger things. And, that's a part that I'm just like, I think it'd be interesting to do like once or twice, but I would never want to do it like full time.
Fun experience, but I mean, could you imagine your address book?
Oh,
because I mean, there's so many different people you'd have to be in contact with if you were a concert photographer, if you were constantly shooting bands, because some of those guys, the front man handles that stuff. Yeah. They're like, I want that photographer, and then some of those guys their manager does, some of them their publicist does. And it's like you don't know who you're talking to then. and you're not real sure if the band themselves are gonna like the content.
Yeah.
You know? It just seems like a little scary to me.
I've shot a couple bands. The ones that I really liked, so it was Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you probably like their stuff, to be honest, but I shot them up at Snowshoe during the Red Bull, the Mountain Bike World Championships up there, and they had like a huge concert, and it was so much fun. And I shot that one on a Nikon 7200, and it was just like super cool. They play like a washboard, and she lights it on fire for like the finale and plays it, dude.
That's
like
wicked.
They're fun, man. Their music is like, it's like rock, but it's like has Appalachian like ties to it and stuff too. But dude, they're good and stuff, and you just want to like drink and just like jump up and down and stuff with them and have a good time. And that crew up there, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just shooting them, and I couldn't get a bad shot. I felt like it was just like I could do it. And if you get good light and good camera, you just.
Do you feel like an atmosphere like that makes you shoot better? Do you feel like it gives you, whenever you hear a song like that? If you're I've always felt that way. I've always felt
music has such an emotional impact for like for a lot of artists. So like I feel like I'll hear some stuff and I want to make a music video of that song
every day.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, I could shoot this.
I picture it. I lay a story out in my head. I'm like, this is what, if I was going to make a music video about this song, this is what it would be.
Yeah.
This is the type of person I would look for to play the actress or the actor. And you know, and I think about it constantly. But
I want to do a whole series I want to do a 6-part episode, and I've went as far in my head of like writing. I have never put anything down on paper, but like, it's in my head. I want to do a 6-part episode series of Fancy by Reba McEntire. And I think it would be so cool. And I was like, I'm going to get this girl to play it. I'm going to get this girl, you know. And I was like, it'd be amazing to shoot that in, like, in New Orleans and just be like, it could be like this really cool, like, you know.
I get what you're saying completely, because this may sound hard to understand, but there's one of my favorite songs from Harry's House. Harry's latest album, and he's got a song called Keep Driving, and the whole song is just like short lines. You know, it's not anything that really, it's not really a story. It's like, you know, he says stuff about black and white film camera, yellow sunglasses, talks about the breakfast they're eating, and I always thought like I wanted to go line for line and take a shot of everything he says in that song and then lay it out into, you know, like just so people could scroll and then read the lyric, and then listen to the song while they're scrolling through the pictures. I don't know. Music does that to me. Films do that to me. You know, anytime I watch a Wes Anderson movie, I start to get obsessed with symmetry again.
Yeah, dude, I love, so Guy Ritchie is one of my favorite directors, and I don't know how to explain it, but like the way he storytells, you can watch a minute of his.
Did he do The Gentleman? Was that guy?
Yeah,
Ritchie?
he did The Gentleman.
Dude, the opening scene of The Gentleman had me so hooked. I thought, now we gotta know.
He goes through like 4 different POVs, and then he also does this shot all the time. You know how like Jerry Bruckheimer always does like these swiping under shots and makes it, and then the lens flare and stuff. So he does. Not Jerry Bruckheimer. That was Michael Bay. My bad. But they're always like in production with each other. But he always does this like GoPro thing where the camera be out to the head, and then like somebody's running through an alley, so it's just like stabilized right there. And then he does it with he did it on King Arthur. He did it on Snatch. He's done it with The Gentleman. But like he always has these crazy all-star casts. Crazy. And like Charlie Hunnam, the guy that plays in like King Arthur and The Gentleman and all that stuff. He's mainly known for Jax Teller and Sons of Anarchy. Like he is like one of my favorite.
No, he's stellar.
So underrated, dude. Like
underrated.
I don't know why he's not in bigger projects. Like he needs to like. But he, Sons of Anarchy, by the way, dude, is like one of my favorite series of all time.
Oh, it's great.
Like it was.
It's up there with
it's chef's kiss.
It's up there with Game of Thrones. Oddly enough, The Queen's Gambit is one of my favorite series.
I haven't started it.
I love the way it was shot.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
There was, there's been a lot of really good ones that I'm just like people have to like dig into. But so Guy Ritchie, he does the storytelling is backwards and forth, but it's so. And it's the same thing with like Michael Bay. Like you can look at like 1 minute of a shot and then you're like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like as a photographer, videographer, like that's the goal is like, and I was telling this to Kevin, is like I could be scrolling, but I know when I see one of your pictures just immediately.
Right,
you know?
right.
It's
very in tune to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell. I was watching. I watched Punch Drunk Love the other night with Adam Sandler. It's a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched that film and I went, my God, dude, I wish I could do something with blue and purple like that. But I don't think I can.
Yeah.
But Paul Thomas Anderson, he kills it when he gets those dreamy, surreal colors in there.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with Denny Villeneuve. When he shot Arrival, the greens and the grays.
Yeah.
Shoots Dune, the oranges and the grays.
Yeah.
You know, he's usually got this one real heavy color that he just hones in on that color, but then he'll have some neutrals with it, and it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, Chris Nolan does that a lot with his movies too.
Yep.
Like if you look at any of the Dark Knight series, you got that the bluish, like depressing type of.
Have you watched Tenet?
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Tenet,
I've watched a lot of Chris Nolan stuff because I like Hans Zimmer as a composer.
Oh yeah,
the dude has him and Chris Nolan honestly we're watching history.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
yeah,
they're both geniuses,
Mm-hmm.
like generational geniuses in film and music. And I mean, you can't have the two. If you look at the projects that Hans Zimmer has worked on and what Chris Nolan, most of the time they're always shooting together, but they would not be able to put out these pieces without one or the other. You know,
Right.
It's incredible and stuff. But no, I haven't watched Tenet. Interstellar. I've watched it, loved it.
Dude, I think every frame in that movie is
it's
artwork.
Yeah.
You know, it's and it's the same thing with I was talking about. I'll go back to Wes Anderson. There's every frame that he shoots, you could probably hang it on your wall as wall art, and people wouldn't question that it was a steal from a movie.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "Oh, it's a beautiful picture."
Yeah,
that's actually from scene 2, of Act 3 or something.
I think it gives that John Ford type of esque. John Ford, is great, one of the best that ever did, and he always shot like John Wayne, but he did these amazing, powerful panoramics of Utah and just the Midwest to the Western. No one saw it on that dynamic. He was like Ansel Adams, but he was putting it on film, and it was just this guy is just people didn't know how to comprehend what they was kind of seeing, and it's just if you, and now I feel like that's why a lot of them when I watched Interstellar for the first time, you're like, what the heck is going on? And then by the time it hits, later in the movie that it's been years, and you're just like, what the heck's going on?
Oh, you can watch those movies over and over and find new details every time, and but going back to how you were talking about how you can scroll by and see a picture and you can say, oh, this person done this. I was watching Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick with Tom Cruise, and I was watching that movie and I thought, man, this looks exactly like Autumn's lights in the background of her pictures. Whatever filter he was using on that. Anytime I look at Autumn's pictures, if Autumn has lights in the background, they look like Stanley Kubrick lights. And I just thought that was so cool that I could make that connection between somebody I know, one of the greatest directors of all time, and say
that is pretty cool.
They both like that dreamy look. Autumn loves that dreamy, little bit of haze, a little bit of cream in there. The lights are kind of she's running together.
She's been obsessed with it lately and stuff too. She told me, we did a session. The last behind the scene one, and she's like, I got so she has this filter that she's been using. She's like, I got it. I just can't stop using it.
I love it. I hope she doesn't.
It's gonna be good in the summertime because she got it when we was just doing the fall winter one. So she hasn't had I don't think actual golden hour to really test it out. So I think you give her a May or June session, golden hour. It's gonna be crazy and stuff. But
sure.
But so Autumn, myself, and you've mentioned some other photographers and stuff. Is there anyone else in the state that you're just that you've been following for a while and you just love, and we'll just give some shout outs to?
Let's see. I don't know if you want to call her in state. She's not in state, but she visits here frequently. Is Lindsay Willis. I've looked at Lindsay's stuff for years. I love everything she does. She helped my sister out a ton when she first got her start, and if I have a question, Lindsay's always there to answer it. So Lindsay Willis, check her stuff out, man. She's great. Sincerely, Stacy. Stacy's stuff is beautiful, man. Like art. You want to talk about art in photography? Stacy makes stuff that looks like it could be book covers.
Yeah. I want her on the pod so bad. Like I reached out to her and she was like, "Let me think about it." I just and stuff, and I was like, "Nah, I totally get it," and stuff. And that's the thing. Like, I think like I want to put a guest on this podcast every single episode. I really don't want to do one where I'm just like talking about myself.
A round table would be cool.
Yeah.
You do a
and
round table.
dude, that would be. I gotta get like 3 other more cameras.
Yeah.
Stuff, but,
yeah.
But I want people to really see this and be like, man, I want to be on there because I just want to talk art and stuff. And she's really like, I love her stuff, and I've used her studio a couple times and stuff, and she's really great. Her stuff is so creative.
Yeah.
And it is so like crisp and like fresh and stuff.
It
and
is.
I love it.
I saw a set she did a while back with it was a couple in a stairwell.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I know exactly
I was
what
just
you're
like,
talking
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I couldn't say anything else.
Yeah.
That's all I could get out of my mouth was wow. Because I don't even know how to analyze these pictures.
Yeah.
Because they're just so pretty. I just want to look at them.
Yeah. She did a whole bunch of like style, like she did different shoots a couple years ago, and I think it was a couple years. It might have been not only like a year or so, but that's how I found her. And I was just like, who is like this girl is like, your immediate thought is just like, dang, like someone else is like create, you don't, but then you're like, dang, someone like that is in West Virginia creating like that.
Right.
So then you're just like, I want to like you follow her, and dude, she was posting like these bangers back to back of just like these great shots. She did one on the racetrack. She did a couple that was like, she did one I think in front of like rallies or stuff, possibly. I'll have to go back and look at her page, and I'll put some images like in the video and stuff too. But that's where I was just like, the way she was editing it, I was like, oh, this is good. Like I want to do something like that as well and stuff. But yeah, who else you got?
Let's see. Have you ever checked out girl from Logan? Her name's Madison Holstein. It's M&M Photography. She recently just got a picture featured on Scripted, so that was
cool.
Unscripted. That's the app, right? Posing app.
Yes, yeah.
She got she used one of the poses, and they said that looks awesome. We're going to use it for the prompt, so they stuck it on the app, and I thought that was so cool.
That's cool.
Madison's so consistent, so clean. Her senior sessions look amazing. I couldn't say enough good things about her, and she also feels like a coworker. I'll text you and Autumn a lot. We'll hop in the Discord and talk to each other, and it feels so nice to have these people that you consider almost as coworkers and friends versus competition.
Yeah, dude, invite her to that Discord, and viewers, if you don't know what we're talking about, that link's going to be in the description below too. If you are a West Virginia photographer or somebody that's just trying to like learn photography, join that. There's about 30 to 40 people in it right now, and I'm trying to get more people to talk. Apparently, a lot more people has been using it, and I didn't know about it because they've been messaging. So like Kevin, which was on the episode last time, he was messaging Megan, the owner of the studio, about like how to do like strobe lights and stuff, and they just kind of like went on their own. And I was like, dude, so immediately that made me feel like I was like, yes, like that's what it was meant for. That's like, I'm so happy that it's working in that sense and stuff too. But I mean, and then some people just not like chatting online and stuff too, so I get that. But like I'm in there every single day, and I'm trying like we do giveaways as well. We haven't done one in a couple months. I try to do one like every other month. I do like a $50 like gift card to like B&H or something like that. And so
the Discord's fun.
I
get in there and throw music out. I'm a big massive music guy, so you'll see my playlist shared like once a week. I bet I'm up to like 70 songs on there, man, on the editing playlist, because that's something I have.
Oh, you gotta have
music going when I'm editing, and it has to be the vibes. It has to be whatever I'm editing. Has to be similar.
Yeah. Recently, I just been going on Spotify and like Post Malone's and The Weeknd's. Believe it or not, Kane Brown's Spotify, like it'll bounce it back because he produces a lot of like other things with people, and I've been just listening to those three like off and on, and it's been like pretty good vibe.
I've been lately with wedding photography at least. Hosier has got his claws in me. Harry Styles has just always been one of my. I can listen to any Harry Styles song and pop a vision into my head immediately. I'm a fanboy. But yeah, that type of music, I love that stuff. And then
I like the Lumineers and stuff.
oh, dude,
Lumineers
and
and
indie music when you're editing wedding
Yeah.
pictures. I've teared up looking at a picture.
Oh,
before
yeah,
and
yeah,
hearing
yeah.
a song go on. People don't realize this. We're at home, guys. We're at home looking at your pictures and crying about them because they're so beautiful, and we loved sharing the day with
Yeah,
you.
I've texted clients and stuff and be like, I'm bawling my eyes out, especially
Right.
if I'm doing a video and they let me choose the music on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's just good.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, I was like, guys, I'm literally crying right now. And they're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see it. And then they just replied, yeah, this is okay. No, I'm just kidding. They don't say that. No, they love it too and stuff. But no, well, you have anything else that you want to like plug or anything?
No, I got to bounce back to one more West Virginia photographer. She's
Yeah.
not in West Virginia anymore. She's moved to Tennessee. I know you know Piper, right? Piper Shepard.
Yeah.
Piper is amazing. She is willing
Yeah,
to answer any
she was
question
about
that
to
you
take
have.
this date right here.
Yeah,
and
well,
stuff,
you got to
and-
get me and Piper on one together.
I know.
We could riff for hours. So, but yeah, super awesome. Her and Mav both, because they kind of teamed up for a while,
Yeah.
and they
They
did a
do
lot of
great
video
work.
and great people.
Yeah.
You know, love those two. So that's it. I don't really have anything else to plug. Watch movies.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell people. If you're a photographer, if you're a fresh new photographer, my only advice is to watch movies, gather as much inspiration from everyone else that you can, and then go out and create your own.
Right.
You can definitely take a page from someone else's book without copying that page.
Right.
Yeah, so it's anytime I'm feeling down, I turn on a movie, I turn on a music video, I consume other art, and then I go out and see what I can do with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, dude, it's been great, for you being here. All of Colt's information is going to be located in the description below. Make sure you guys give him a follow. Make sure you guys are also like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps us grow the podcast as well. We're also located on Apple Podcasts, so go ahead and give us a follow on there and let us know how we sound. So you guys stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.